Ooh, all right. Hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 182 came out today, and we are going to discuss it quickly. Um, Also, if anyone has any tips for thumbnails, feel free to leave them in the comments. I feel like I've been using like some variation of Denji or Asa for thumbnail for like the past 20 weeks. So if anyone has any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. But anyways, to quickly recap this chapter, Yoru takes over Asa and kisses Denji, which makes Denji again very flabbergasted. He asks her why she keeps kissing him. And Yoru responds by saying that because she thinks he is cute when he cry. So showing off a bit of her devilish side, but also this is like the first time that she is really being affectionate towards him without any. She's going full tsundere, but the dere part. But anyways, she does that and then she kisses him again. To which Denji pushes her away because right now, he wants to be wallowing in his own misery. He doesn't want to kiss. Now is not the time for that. He wants to reflect. He wants to have personal growth. And the mood isn't right, which Yoru is not good at reading it. So he pushes Yoru away, and Yoru tries to cheer him up. Yoru tries to relate to him. Yoru says that she's also lost people that she consider family. But then she ends it with, if she can get over it, he can as well. So she's basically saying, get good, skill issue. Not the most encouraging thing to say to someone who is in a dark spot. And Asa recognizes that, so she takes back her body by punching herself. And anyways, so sorry, I'm watching the election in the background. But anyways, Asa takes over her body, and then she tries to relate to Denji as well, but on a different level. She brings up her mother dying because of her falling while being chased by a devil. And this gets a bit of Denji's attention. Denji asks her how she managed to get over it, to which Asa replies that she didn't. But then Asa reminds Denji that he once inspired her with his quote while he was saving her from the falling devil. So this is like a moment where the two really starts to connect, Asa and Denji. But then as she does that, Denji throws up, maybe out of cringe. And then he throws up the snow devil, which looks like a deformed alpaca. And snow covers the aging devil's world as he does that. So I think that confirms one thing, in that the aging devil's world isn't like a vision, a dream, or like a genjutsu, whatever. Because that was one possibility that I thought could happen. But anyway, Snow is back in the world. And as Snow is returning to the world, Denji gets flashback of Power and Aki during their last moment together, because they went back to Aki's hometown in Hokkaido, which is the most northern part of Japan, and it's always snowing. So as snow as a concept is returned to the world, Denji instantly get like the super punch memory nostalgia punch of his first and only time in the snow, which is probably the happiest moment of his life. And he is forced to, for the first time, also confront the reality of Aki and Power's death. Because before, he didn't really get the opportunity to do that, right? He killed Aki, and then right after that, Makima killed Power, and then turned him back into Pochita. And he had to fight Makima, and then he was immediately forced to take care of Nayuta. So throughout this whole part, he never really had a moment to stop and think about his losses and what he went through. But yeah, that's about it. So Denji is going to be forced to confront his own trauma with Asa helping him potentially. And yeah, that's about it for this chapter. Um, bu- bu- bu. Let's see if we have any comments for tonight. Mm, bu- bu- bu. Let's see. Glad you reread part 1. You remember the trip to Hokkaido in chapter 72. Yes, that was the chapter. I think 71, 72. On a side note, this ship is the one where Power threw up over. So a nice callback to that moment. But yeah, that's about it for me for today. Not too much else to go over. There is going to be a chapter next week as well. So no bi-weekly break this time around. Fortunately. Let's see. Two huge things that happened. Denji started to realize that the girl's physical relationship does not equal happiness. I think Denji's always realized that, right? Because even in part 1, he like rejected Makima's advances just so he can like take care of Power. So I think that's not anything new to him. He's always been like that. Why did Denji throw up? Why did he throw up? That's a good question. Could be throwing up because of cringe, could be throwing up because of inspiration. Who knows? Maybe something she said here reminded him of his time with Power and Aki. Or he just ate a lot and threw up. A whole bunch of reason. I don't really think Fujimoto's really going to go too deep into that. But yeah, why wasn't Pochita in the real world throwing the Snow Devil out? Well, he did get blown to pieces before that can happen. So, not sure. The physiology of Pochita, not really something that's been explained for the most part. But yeah, pretty short chapter. Some stuff to go over, but most stuff I think are pretty self-explanatory. I think I should pat myself on the back a little bit because most of what we covered last chapter did happen. I didn't think he was going to throw up the devil this fast, but I did, call that Denji is going to reject Yoru's advances because he's he doesn't want to be horny. He wants to be reflective. Let's see, it makes you think that Denji is unconscious and he's reacting to what's happening in the real world. I don't quite think that's the case because it looks like he's physically throwing up the snow devil. I think if we ever like cut back to Yoshida and other humans in the real world, and if they remember like snow as a concept, then that's like a 100% evidence that the aging devil's world isn't like a dream. Like the aging devil's world actually exists like physically. It's not like a dream, not a genjutsu, not like a vision. But again, I don't know if that's something that Fujimoto's going to do because he's not always the biggest on explaining stuff. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to watch the US election because that's today as well. Yeah, if you're American, gonna be a busy night, interesting night. But yeah, that's about it from me. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for all the comments and questions.